I am back. Yes. Today, another Choose Your Path episode number 50, I believe. Oh my God, number 50. I am your host, celebrity publicist, motivational speaker, and best-selling author of the number one habit series for entrepreneurial success, which you can purchase right now, absolutely right now, on Amazon. Amazon.com. Hello, Mike. Thank you so much for coming in. Yay. Okay, let's get started. There she is. Yes, we're finally here, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I was like, oh, here we are. I went live earlier today. This is my second time
Yeah, I
today.
saw that post, but I was homeschooling. So I was like, darn it, I'll catch the replay.
Oh yeah, you could definitely go in and catch the replay. It was an amazing conversation that I had with Red. I say REHD. He said, "Call me Red." So Red, he's Anthony Hamilton's son, and it was so nice to like talk to him and find out about his brand. But we're here. Here we are.
Absolutely.
Yep. So you ready? Let's do this. Felicia Dorsch,
Dorch,
right?
like porch, but with a
Is
D.
it Dorsch? Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay. I was like, okay. Okay. Do you get that sometimes?
All the time.
Yes, I don't
It,
know. That's how I was practicing and everything. I said, "Oh, I think this is what it is." Hello, everybody.
oh,
Thank
it took
you.
me years to learn to say it. So I,
Well, very nice to meet you. You're a nurse by day, publisher, all kinds of writers.
yes. Yes, I'm a nurse, publisher, author. I think I'm on my fifth or sixth book, I guess. I ghostwrite for others. I write movies for others and speaking on domestic violence. And I guess because I'm bored, then I model too. I don't, I don't-
I was like, how did she tap into all that? I can't wait to talk to her. Wow, domestic violence is definitely something near and dear to it. I'm a survivor.
me
Almost
too.
15, yeah, almost 15 years now. How was that transition?
It was very
Oh my
scary
goodness.
because for me, it's only year four. So the first year was learning to get out of the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I knew I was away from him, but I didn't know how to understand that I was away from him. I
Uh-huh.
still had that fear. And then the second year was figuring out, okay, what do I do now? How do I keep going? And then after that, it was sky's the limit.
It was no more of that, right? I think
Right.
what got me to my point of finally leaving was is I was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I was lifelong, and I said that's it. Once I came out of whatever I was going through at that time, I mean, torn ligaments. My mom had to assist me for some time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just terrible, and it took that for me to leave because I had tried to leave several times before. My door got kicked in. All kinds of things
Mm-hmm.
was happening, and it's like I can't get away. And then when I
Exactly.
did, I haven't looked back, and it's just been up since there. But I appreciate it in a weird way. I appreciate this entire journey.
Absolutely. It showed me who I was because I tell people like now, just like you just said, how does she do all of that? The funny thing is, this is what I've been doing. Like I was doing this before that, but he stopped me. Things were not
Wow.
allowed. So I stopped modeling. I stopped writing. I almost stopped being a nurse, so it was just constant chaos. But the turning point for me was when my two older girls we do these individual dates. I do individual dates with my kids, and
Hmm.
each date the child was like, "Mom, what are you doing?" And these are my older girls. So now I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I showing them?" What
Wow.
does it take? And then it was like after that happened, and then him trying to choke me to death because I wanted a divorce. I was like, "That's it. That's
That's it.
it." And then to hear my kids tell my older daughters that they like this mommy better than the one that they had before, it's like, my God, what was I showing them? Just soul crushing.
That is very soul crushing because I am too a mom, and that is definitely soul crushing. It's crazy how when you're in that situation, I mean, I know it's really bad, but it's very hard to describe.
Hmm.
It's like you know that your children are there, but it's you're still there and you're in it.
Right.
It becomes
Because
like your world. You become like
yeah.
a part of it, this dysfunctional culture
Hmm. You're
that you have
justifying it.
designed. You're justifying.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Wow. Fast forward. How are you doing now since 20 in 2020? How are we doing in 2020? The pandemic and
I'm
everything that's going on.
I'm doing great. So, I prayed and I took time to find what my purpose was, through God's eyes and not what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And following those steps, everything has been great for me, besides being stuck in the house, which I thank God for it because I had been trying to figure out a way to work from home. I'm a nurse analyst, so I'm not clinical anymore. And
Okay.
so me being able to be home was great for me because it allowed me to focus on my clients, my publishing, my work, my children, so I'm excited about 2020. I've done more in 2020 than I've done in the last 3 years. So,
Yes, I've been getting a lot done. Me too. I was like, wow, all of this extra time. Now I got time to finish the book that I wanted to
mhm,
finish. I get time to start another business as well. And that's how these conversations started. Because I was like, somebody else got to know this, that you can choose
right.
your path. Like you can do this even during a pandemic. It all depends
Mhm,
on how we're looking at it and our perception, right? What
absolutely.
sparked the idea, to even though you have been doing it, doing this has been you've been this amazing creative woman, but what sparked it for you to like start stepping out and I want to write, so I'm going to start writing? What sparked that?
The writing I've been doing since the fifth grade, but then everything that I would write as an adult, he would have a problem with. It was always turned towards, oh, that's about me. I'm a creative thinker. Like I can think of a story like that, and it has nothing to do with anybody. But
Mm-hmm.
the constant of that, I just stopped. So then
Mm-hmm.
I prayed and I asked God. I said, if you show me my purpose, I'll do it. And then I started thinking about the writing again, and it's so funny because my children, they started asking, Mommy, you don't write, you don't tell us stories anymore. And so I said, okay, go in the go upstairs and get a book. It's like, no, we want you to tell us one. And then I
Wow.
thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh. So the journey that it took for me to find my purpose is why I wrote the book God's Purpose, or the journey that I took in prayer is why I wrote the prayer journal. So I created tools for myself to help myself heal, which made me start writing again.
That is so beautiful. Wow. Yeah, and it's so amazing how like when you find yourself in a bit of pain, what can come
Mhm.
out of that if you let it grow your strength, so to
Absolutely.
speak. So, congratulations to you for that and to
Thank
us.
you.
Cheers.
Amen.
Cheers to us for
Right.
surviving.
Right.
That was a crazy journey, and I'm just starting to share it. I
Hmm.
first got on stage a couple of years ago and shared the story for the first time on stage, and I said, "Wow!" And then that's the first thing you see when you go to my website. I think that's the only thing I've placed on my blog is surviving that, because that was such a surreal thing to finally get on a
Hmm.
microphone and
Yes.
actually talk about it.
I did it on a radio show, and that was the most terrifying, freeing thing I've ever done in my life. Um, I had a ton of people call me like, I didn't know. My brothers, oh my gosh, I got six brothers, so they went
Wow.
ballistic, because it was like, we didn't know what was going on. And then when I talk on my podcast and when I talk to others, I tell people, it's not that you didn't know what was going on. You didn't want to see what was going on. Because if you know me, I'm super talkative. I'm always energetic. I'm always happy. Now you see me, I'm dull. I'm quiet. I barely even comb my hair. I don't attend any functions. You see
None.
what you want to see. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So and it came out later that they felt like something was wrong, but they didn't know how to approach me about it, and all of that. And I get it. I do understand it because I've seen some friends of mine where I'm like, something's up, and then you approach them and then they get mad at you for asking about it. So I get why they did it that way, but I really wish they just would have said, what's going on?
Should
You
we
know,
not care about all of our expectations of what someone is going to, how they're going to respond, and just be there?
I've chosen to do that for me.
Uh-huh.
Like I really have, like I will pull my older daughter was dating someone and I straight up told her. I was like, something's not right. So I prayed about it and I talked to God about it and I went to her again. And it's so funny. The younger daughter, my younger daughter went to my oldest again and said something. I keep having these weird dreams. It's like God was trying to use everybody around her. Because when you only see your eyes for that person, you don't see what everybody else see because you're too
No,
busy
that's true.
justifying it.
That's true.
So one thing I had to tell her, I was like, you watched me, you lived through mine. Do you want your daughter to live through yours? And it was like, she's like, nope, I'm good.
Nope. You got to decide.
Yeah.
You got to decide, especially if you want something better in life. Wow. What have been some of your biggest inspirations?
Just being able to be me, with my children cheering me on, especially with the modeling. A lot of my friends are asking me, why you wait? You're 42 years old. Why'd you wait to model now? And it's like, I wasn't sitting around not wanting to, circumstances prevented that. But when God placed it in my path again, just to see them encourage me, because it's plenty of times I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And they're asking me why.
Does the age really matter, though?
It doesn't matter. But see, when you have had self-esteem issues, and then, I flew to New York because a big company wanted me, and here I am, I'm 42, everybody in there's 20.
I see you. I see you here. Yeah,
but,
she's here.
But they love it. They really love it. So it's like I had to stop thinking like that. And I'm teaching my kids that it's never too late to do anything you put your heart to. But here I am telling myself, what are you doing? So I was like, oh, no, ma'am. And then my son is like, Mom, you're just as good as anyone else. So they're constantly pushing me to do things. So that's been my inspiration, is just to watch them get excited about my excitement. I had an interview with Maybelline the other day, and I don't know how to put on makeup. So I had to learn. So here I am having my 14-year-old teach me to wear makeup in 3 days.
That is hilarious. Wow. How did it go?
It went fabulous. I'll be one of the faces of Maybelline in October. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, we got to put up the hearts for that, because that is so amazing. Wow, congratulations. Jeez. What are some of the challenges of being a mom boss?
Oh, Jesus. Well, for me, it's just making sure that I'm exceeding their expectations as a mom. I tease around on my podcast. I'll say either I'm a hot mess mom today or I'm the mom boss today. Most days I'm the mom boss. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. We're taking care of things. I'm working. They're doing their schoolwork. They have their activities. We're good. Then some days I'm a hot mess mom. They're eating ice cream for breakfast. I don't care who has a book or who's reading or not. So it's just really learning. The biggest challenge is taking care of myself, because I do so many things. And that's one thing I had to learn to do, was stop and pause. You can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. If you do, then you're not going to be any good to them. So it's just trying to learn to care for me. I got time management down to a science, but myself, I get neglected.
I didn't have time management down to a science. I didn't. My last appearance on TV was with Dr. Oz and Bishop Jakes. And a big portion of that is because I was working over 75 hours a week.
Ooh.
And I wasn't being a good mom boss. My kids probably felt very well disconnected. Like, mom is not here, because for some reason I got to a point where, I don't know, I had like this tunnel vision focus, and I just would go, and not even take a break, not even looking around and see who's affected or anything, because I was just going for it. I don't know. Right. I just clicked into, because I have been through so much pain, and I have been through, being isolated and being who I am for so long, that now I finally got out. And I'm like, I just got to go for it, because this is my moment, and I don't know how long. But no, I
I
definitely
think
had to
hmm,
learn how to find balance.
I can understand that because I still have the mommy guilt now. Like I won't go anywhere without my kids. And the first time I had to fly to New York, I cried on the plane.
You
And
did?
when I got there, I called my oldest and I was telling her that, I cried on the plane. She's like, girl, please, I've been gone and having a good time, and I was like, I don't, and I realized I didn't know how to do that because during the time I was married, they were my world. Like I didn't have him to, to be the husband. So I had my children. I'll just do something with my kids. I'll do something with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my life now. Everywhere I go, I'm like, y'all want to go? And they're like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you can go. So I'm trying to get used to doing that, but I literally burst into tears. So they all got on FaceTime, all four, and they were like, "We are good. We're safe. Go out and do your thing, Mom. We're proud of you." So I get off the FaceTime and I can do nothing but laugh. But I still didn't leave the
You
hotel.
still didn't leave. Aw, but how was that experience? I know
It
I
was
seen a
a
glimpse of it on
It was
Facebook.
amazing. We
Yeah.
we had a blast. Like we went and did our model workshop and talked about because we have to walk in New York Fashion Week.
Uh-huh.
We talked about all the different opportunities that we have, and it was amazing. But it's just I sat there and I just thought about it, like, oh my God, I'm in New York. My children are in Texas. I'm having a meltdown.
Instead of looking around and saying, I'm
Right.
really here in New York.
Exactly.
Because they're
So
fine.
the second time I went, I was good. I was
Wow.
good.
Wait, what? Oh, I seen too, Dr. Oz.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
So, I forgot the young lady's name, but
Trying to get it all in.
right,
Uh,
she hit me
uh,
up on Facebook and was saying she needed some homeschool moms to kind of do little skits to talk about their experience as a homeschool mom. And I did it and she loved it. So my segment got put on there. So it was just something she put on Facebook and I sent the video real quick with the twins because we love doing videos. We're always doing silly stuff. And I have a whole classroom set up in my house. So it looks like a classroom and
I
they
love the
enjoyed doing it.
clocks.
Yeah, that's the times they were all born.
No
Yeah,
way.
that's the times they were all born. And so at the top it says, in these moments, time stood still. So that's
Girl,
that's my
stop
crew.
it. That
Yeah.
that just will make me
The
cry all
well,
over.
I'm just gonna
Wow.
make it even worse for you. The second clock is my stepdaughter. That's actually the baby that my ex-husband had on me while we were married, but I helped raise her, and that's my sweetheart. So when that people ask me, I have 4 kids.
Talk about the strength of a woman.
Hmm. She's counted with the rest of them. I do not. Anytime anybody asks me, I have 4 children.
Talk about the strength of a
Hmm.
woman.
It wasn't her fault. I love her
It
to
was
pieces.
it was not her fault, and the fact that you're just beautiful.
Thank you.
We'll just leave it at that. You're just beautiful. That is amazing. Any advice that you would like to give to females? We winning right now. Any advice that you would like to give to a woman who has children, who may have a dream and she wants to be an entrepreneur, but I don't have time, or it's impossible, that kind of mindset.
Right. For me, I would say that they need to start working on their mindset and prayer. Get closer to God, start to love who you are in God's eyes and not anyone else's. And then once you have that clarity, you'll start to see things. Like I have a friend of mine I had to have this conversation with, and an amazing cook. And she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to make the money. Well, we talked about it. I pushed her, encouraged her. Now she's selling plates, and now she's getting big contracts with companies. But I had to help her change her thinking and understand that God has a purpose for your pain. There's a purpose
Absolutely.
for you. So until you figure out your purpose and get clear on that, then you're going to stay stuck that way. So it's just really making your relationship with God better is going to help you get to where you need to be.
Oh, what wonderful advice. Oh my goodness. Talk about traits of a visionary leader.
Thank you.
Resilience, very strategic as to how you, you navigate and you go about life. I think that's amazing. I always have my pen. I write down things. You're an amazing communicator, and you have to be an amazing organizer because you're doing homeschooling as well, I would think. And
Yes.
you're good with time management. This is all the things I'm getting from our conversation. So many great things. And you're just a beautiful woman. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
I'm really celebrating you. This is amazing.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you.
I
I'll
am
tell you,
now.
one of the time management advice I can give to people, it
Yes,
sounds
please.
funny, but get a command center. If you go on Amazon and type in command center for a home, it'll give you these different templates to put on your wall. So I literally plan out my menu for the entire week. Put the chores on there. I put things we need to buy. So the kids know everything that they need to do throughout the day, so I'm not constantly having to guide them. They know school starts at 9:30, we're done by 12, then they do their chores. So
Okay.
they come downstairs, they don't ask me what we're eating because it's already there. They don't ask me who needs to clean the restroom because it's already there. So
That's called organization for
I
real.
have to, because I do too many things. Even if we just eliminated everything outside of my job as a nurse analyst, I still would have to have that because I'm a nurse analyst. I'm reviewing charts all day and I'm homeschooling two ninth graders. So you have to have some type of way to divide up things where they can focus on their own while I'm focusing. So I get up super early. I start work early. So by the time they're ready for 9:30, I can take that break and teach them. And then I go right back to it.
See, that's a skill that I just recently learned. And I know that like by 9 o'clock, I'm done with all my emails. I'm done with pitches.
Mm-hmm.
I send about between 80 to 100 pitches every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's by my hands, not automated programs, nothing. Like
Right.
that's the pitches that I send to individuals every single day. So, yeah, and it has changed my entire life. Because
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that Bishop Jake said to me is that just because you're busy, that doesn't mean that you're being productive, in his
Thanks.
voice. And that's so true. Because it does give you that illusion when I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm making the phone calls or I'm running around, I'm doing whatever that may be. It
Mm-hmm.
makes it look like you're being productive, but not really. And I feel like in this season, I have been more productive than I've
Mm-hmm.
ever been. I
Absolutely.
I absolutely love my boss. What
Thank
is
you.
that the name of your podcast?
Yes, the Mom Boss Show. It is definitely.
How do I find your podcast?
It's on app. Oh, see, now I gotta remember. I know it's definitely on the Apple Podcast. You know what? I'm gonna send you the whole thing because
Okay.
it's like 10 different platforms, and I'm sorry I did not
Oh
have it
no.
written down.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, no, send it to me because definitely when I put this video on YouTube, I'll add it into the description so that
Okay.
anyone else who wants to follow and definitely check you out. I don't see who wouldn't want to because I definitely want to listen to you. While I'm working, I can listen to my
Right.
boss. Yeah.
And
That
I'm
is so
very
cool.
transparent. I use, things that have happened to me to get my point across because I feel like that's very important. People see what they want to see on Facebook and they think we're all just glorious and perfect, and
Yes.
you can be whoever you want to be on Facebook and Instagram. They don't know about the days that you barely got out the door, the kids don't have matching socks, and they probably ate cereal for dinner. So
Yes, that's
in
true.
real life.
Yo, no, I'm very transparent about my story. I share it all the time. Anytime that I can find a space where I can share my story, I share my story. Because I don't want people
Absolutely.
to think it's just Steve Harvey and Dr. Oz and the shows and the celebrity and all of that cool
Hmm.
stuff. It's absolutely a cool experience for sure.
Hmm.
But that's not how it wasn't always that way.
Right.
And I went through some things and I conquered some struggles and I went through some obstacles and ups and downs and all those things to get to
Hmm.
this place. And I have to share it because then that way I can help someone else. That's how I can help them,
Absolutely.
by
Right.
being me and tell them and share my story. Gratitude to give. She's also a nurse as well. That's why I think she said earlier, oh, nurses in the building.
Yes, 18 years.
15 years I worked as an EMT and slash medical assistant slash surgical tech. I went through so many different fields of medicine. I always wanted to be a doctor. And my last year of college, my daughter's father was murdered
Oh
at
my.
the age of 24. And he was such a good friend. He had just got married 6 months prior. We weren't together,
Mm-hmm.
but he had just got married like 6 months prior to his demise. And I don't know, that definitely did something to me.
I can understand that.
Yeah, it really did something to me for a long time. And I think that
Mhm.
that's honestly, if I had to take a mirror and reflect it back at myself, I would say that when I got into that abusive relationship, there were signs and I had
Mhm.
time to go. Like
Mhm.
God had showed the signs. And because I wasn't fully loving myself in that moment,
Amen.
I was very vulnerable. I
Yeah.
let this person right in.
Yeah.
It was like
Same.
he
That's the
fit
same
right
here.
into that
Yep.
unself love. And I was like, okay. And I was all these googly eyes. And then I
Yep.
just started making excuses. And I think earlier a young lady said cycle. And it
Yeah.
definitely is. Domestic violence is definitely a cycle
It
you go
definitely
through.
is. I watched my mom go through it, and you know how we, oh, I'll never go through that,
Yeah, my mom did
but
too.
in my book that I'm bringing out, Beautifully Broken, I talk about how things start when you're younger. With my brothers, I've always been really skinny and tall, and we pick with each other, we pick with kids, but in my household, my kids are not allowed to call each other outside of their names. Because
Mm-mm.
that really bothered me. My older brother, and he's such a nut. I love him to death, but he would call me a fat ox all the time, and I was probably 60 pounds. But what he didn't realize is in my mind, I thought I was. So the constant, and I just really had low self-esteem. And then here comes this guy that just told me I was the world, and I believed it. And then this happened, but then wait, but he said I was beautiful, so I let that go. And it just
Yeah.
kept going from there. And I watched my mother do the same thing. And there's one day we were in the kitchen, and I got into it with my stepdad, and he was being very disrespectful to me, verbally
Mm.
abusive to me. And I left there, came back the next day to pick up my mom, I think, or something, but we were going to have dinner. Well, she was done with it. She was okay with everything was over. So she goes, well, why don't you fix your dad a plate? And I was like, my dad? My dad's dead. Like, what are you talking about? She was trying to get me to talk to him. And at that moment, it's like something just did that. And I stopped and I looked at her. I looked at my then husband and I looked at her again. I said, you're the reason why I'm still with him. And I wasn't really blaming her, you know what I mean? But it was like, you
I
didn't
get the
teach
root
me.
of it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
so you've taught me to get beat down, turn back around, new day. It's okay. Let's do it again. And I realized that's what I was doing for 20 years. We were together
Mm.
for a total of 21 years. And I was like, no, I can't do this.
No more.
No more.
Change of a mindset.
That fast, along
It's
with,
literally just a change of a mindset.
mhm,
Yeah, because I left everything behind. I left a home behind. I left a lot, and then I came to the East Coast with like $250. And one of my friends, I think, sent me $50, and I bought one of those throwaway phones just so I
mhm.
can have like a cell phone. And here I am with a little one in a stroller, and in New York City with my luggage and suitcase. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm here.
Well, the ladies that rallied around me, I thank God for them. My small group there in Tennessee, they
Hmm.
really helped me get my mindset together and find the love in myself that God has for me. And then I started being strategic. I started taking things, hiding money, flipping the deed around, had him sign a quit claim deed he didn't even know he signed.
I gotta go. Like, it's time to go.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm out.
Yep. Yep. I did.
So,
Yeah. I was out and I haven't looked back.
right.
And I'm so
Absolutely.
grateful for it because now here we are. We're
Hmm.
sharing our experiences. And I, I don't even know what to say because everything that I see, it looks totally, it doesn't even look like, this is really me. I'm really
Hmm.
here in this space right now. And I'm just so grateful for
Amen.
it. And I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you sharing your story because I'm like, wow, there is There's someone that is
Right.
that understands. It's always
Right.
nice to share that story because you know that there's someone else that understands. No, it's not the exact same story, but
Hmm.
it's that pain that we definitely share that we were able to persevere through.
And it
I
shows people that
That's amazing.
there's a purpose for your pain. It takes a while. I mean, you heard me say the first year I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. The second year I was like, okay, we got to get it together.
That's
So,
amazing. That's amazing. I had wrote down something and I was going to ask you about resilience, but I was going to ask, like, share experience of how you were able to, recover and get through. But we have definitely talked about that.
mhm.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I sometimes I don't. A lot of times when I share the story, I don't cry, and then there's other times where I gotta really take a moment when I talk about certain things because it take
Mhm.
you when you share an experience, it almost takes you right into this right into that moment, like you're
Right.
watching it, like you're a spectator of the
Mhm.
event that already has occurred. Like if I go
Absolutely.
back and share that story about what happened, which a lot
Mhm.
of times I try to share that it happened and
Mhm.
then share my how did I overcome, you know what I
Right.
mean, but
Right.
not necessarily go through the steps of the beatings and the
Mhm.
choking until I pass out, or the jumping out of windows and all those things I had to go through. I usually don't share that because I'm such a visual and emotional person that
Right.
if I go there, it's like me taking a step back in my
Right back in it.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times I don't like to do that. I like to talk about my past just to see how far I come. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Not to necessarily say there, because you can go really, really dark,
Oh,
and
yes.
you'll be like, "Oh shoot, I can't get out." You'll be
Yes,
looking
you
like the guy from Get Out. Remember the movie when
right.
he was falling, and
Right,
it was
right.
like really, it was all his conscience that she was able to tap
Mhm.
into, and he no longer had any control of that. And I don't want that. I want to be
Yeah,
able to master
yeah.
my thoughts.
I
You
try
know.
not to do that. Most of the time, when I think about it, is when I'm doing something or I've made a grand accomplishment. Again, like when I was flying to New York, the point that I was flying to New York to model, it made me think about where I was 4 years ago and what I was
Mm,
going through and how I didn't see the light. I didn't see I didn't think I was going to survive that relationship, let alone be 4 years later, I'm flying to New York because someone thinks I'm beautiful. So that was tough. So I try to, when I do get to thinking about it, I'll journal, and I'll try to see, okay, God, why am I thinking about this again? What lesson did I need to take out of that and pay attention to? So I'm trying to do the work on myself when I do think about those things. Because
mm.
I try not to, I don't like, if someone asks me, I will tell them because a lot of times your story, well, your story helps someone else.
Oh, for sure.
After my radio show, I had literally over 100 women in my inbox telling me, thank you for saying something.
Hmm.
So I know it's freeing to the other person, but while writing my book, I cried through the first chapter because I'm thinking about all of that. Like, did you really? It's like you're watching yourself on a TV. Did you do that? You went through that? Like,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
real, for
yeah.
real?
I went back home recently, and that's what I said to myself. I asked myself that exact question. I said, I was here and
Hmm.
I was in that. And I stayed, even though time to me is such an illusion, but I stayed for so long.
Right.
I really stayed for so long. And how did I get? But I got through and I survived.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters, right? At the
Right.
outcome. And
Right.
that's what I want people to know. Like right now, yes, we're in a pandemic and the world looks like it could possibly be on fire, however you're looking at it. But what we do with this time is going to determine our outcome and what that's going to
Absolutely.
look like. So I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
Absolutely. I am. I'm looking forward to it. I want people to be able to build on their imagination, have some self-awareness about ourselves, like really taking I think this is a great time if we need to
Hmm.
heal. Maybe we're not in a space for creativity, but maybe we're in a space where we need to heal and really
Hmm.
take a look at ourselves and see how we can become better. I want people to do that and be able to mind our thoughts. I mean, that is
Absolutely.
That is so important. We're just letting things come through, and we're taking it for face value.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times we're self-diagnosing ourselves. Yes, it is definitely a thing. Clinical depression, and
That is
I
true.
don't, that is definitely a thing. But a lot of times too, we actually self-sabotage ourselves by giving us all of these labels, because we
Mm-hmm.
feel like we don't have a strategy or a plan as to how we're going to navigate and get through it.
Life and death and the power of the tongue. So.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. I'm going to write that down. Tell me some of the important traits that you think an entrepreneur needs in order to be successful.
To know what you don't know. I love to write. I know how to publish. I learned how to publish, but there is another publisher out there that probably knows more than I do. So it's networking and listening, being open to listen to somebody else's, advice, or what we tend to do is we start a business and we stay on that level with the people doing the same as we are. So at this point, you need to reach higher. Who has that same business or like business that can help you that's up here? What strategies did they use? I was part of an organization called Black Masterminds, and that was the goal of that organization, is to pull entrepreneurs in and say, okay, I may know something that you don't know, so let me help you. So just being open to what you don't know. You learn from everyone, every experience. Don't be so closed-minded to say, no, I got this, I'm doing this. There's someone that's doing it better. So get with those
Always.
people.
Surround yourself with greatness.
Exactly.
Where did I put your card? I don't know if I said, no, it didn't save. So I'll say it. I'm not even going to be able to post it up here. I'm so mad. I had to shout out to my sponsor, 10K Cards, because I'm like, where is your card? I didn't have it so I can post it up here. But what 10K Cards is a business digital card that we give to every special guest. And we made one for you. Did you get a chance to?
I did. I was like, this is live.
Tell me, what did you think about your business digital card?
That is cool. Like, I was like, whoa. And I'm just pressing stuff like, this is neat. I love it. And I'm like, I'm about to share this to everybody.
Yes, share it, because it's so cool. And like now you have a QR code, and people can scan it, and then all of that information that you see, that will also go onto their phone, and they'll have all the ways of how to purchase your products, how to find you on, social media, your website, all of those things all in one place. And what a perfect time right now to, be in a digital world and have a digital business card, because I think that the old cards, the ones that, we passed, here, take my card. We don't have to do that now. We just get the phone.
No, we can't touch people. We can't get close to people. We can't breathe.
Right. 6 feet. Oh my God. And that too. I said I wanted to start talking to, I think I want to do something on Monday, like I do like a Monday special a couple times where I want to talk to teenagers.
Yeah.
I want to take like some time and talk to them. I want to know what their experience is like during this time right now. How are they feeling? How are they navigating? I can't even imagine. I love going to high school.
Well, my kids are traditional homeschoolers, so
they are.
They've been doing this since the 3rd grade. But what people fail to realize, that traditional homeschoolers is just like school. Everything they do at school, we do. They have prom, they have sports, they have clubs. We have all of that. So they miss their friends too. Like tonight, my daughter has American Heritage, which is just like Girl Scouts, but it's a Christian base. And we started meeting in person, but they have the masks. They're spread out all over the place. Because we're trying, you know what I'm saying? And then my son, he played football this season, and I was panicking, and I swear he had enough COVID tests for the rest of the world, but it's just trying to let them be around their friends, and it's tough. They got tired of the Zooms, and I got tired of the wine Zooms. I was like, girl, let's meet and get some wine. I'm like, I'm over it.
Oh, I did. I had a power lunch. I've had one power lunch this entire season, but I did. I was like, all right, let's meet up. Let's have lunch. Right. It is that social interaction, that human connection is absolutely necessary. And I do, I guess it is even if they are homeschooled, they still have their own experience of their season
Right.
and what they're going through. So I don't think
Right.
whether it matters whether someone's in a building or they're not, we all still going through whatever we're going through
Hmm.
at whatever stage. So I do want to talk to the young people. I love the young people. That's the thing I do miss. I've been traveling to schools and talking to the
Hmm.
kids and telling them about how you are enough, because when I was growing up, I didn't feel like I was enough.
Right.
I always felt like I was doing stuff to fit in,
Yes.
trying to make sure I wear this certain sneaker or make sure I have my hair a certain way, or,
Hmm.
oh, if I hang out with these girls, they're popular. So then that'll make me feel important. All these things. I was going all on the outside looking around for something that was right inside of me the whole time.
The,
But
the
I'm
the crazy
right.
thing with me is my self-esteem was in the toilet, but I still didn't care to be popular. Like, it's like, not that I didn't care. I guess I was so oblivious to, if that was my friend, that's my friend. I don't care if you don't like her. Like, I was that kind of person.
Oh, got it.
So, but I realized once I got out of school, I kind of slept through the whole thing. Like, I was so trying to be in the background that I just went away like that. And I hate that. I hate that I did it that way, but that was a defense mechanism for myself, that because of the way I saw myself. Because all of my classmates love me to death, and they're like, "What do you mean? We thought you were the coolest thing." I'm like, "What, me? Huh? What?"
Like, you do? You think so? I was always that one that sat in the front of the class too, because
Right.
I was such a nerd and I needed to get my notes. I did not care. They used to talk about me at home like, oh, you're not coming outside, you got to do your homework. I'm like, yeah, I got to do my homework first and then I'll come outside. I
Oh,
used to
I
get teased for the
understand.
craziest things,
Yeah,
but it didn't stop me.
my brother used to tell me, he's like, "You're the oldest young person I know." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You go to bed at 7. You do your
Right.
work."
Exactly. And then I got called into the principal's office and I'm like, me, the principal wants me,
Right.
and then they transferred me to another high school outside of my neighborhood because
Oh,
they were,
okay.
I guess they felt like they didn't have enough classes that
Hmm.
fit, where I was, and I ended up going to a college prep high school, and that was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. So I think that we just take our experiences, things that we look at that may have paralyzed us or not helped us live our fullest
Hmm.
potential, and we give back. And I think
Right.
that that's the thing. I've taken all of what used to be my weaknesses and turned them into strengths by
Hmm.
creating these platforms and taking them and saying, "Hey, you are enough." I walked into the school and they had it on the top of each of the doors, "You are enough," and I just felt, I just wanted to
Hmm.
cry, because I said, wow, if I never chosen myself,
Hmm.
all the they wouldn't even I wouldn't be here, and these kids wouldn't get to hear my voice and this story or something that I needed to give them to take them along on their journey, because that's what we're doing. We're
Hmm.
planting seeds, right?
That was the thing that I wanted to do before COVID. Was talk with girls that crazy age between 10 and 15, where
Uh-huh.
they, coming out of elementary, going into middle school, have no clue what's going on in their lives. And I created this little thing called Girl, and me and my little girl wrote a book about it. It's God's Intelligent, Respectful Ladies. And I just want them to
Mm.
understand that you don't have to go put 30 pounds of makeup and have half your rump hanging out to get attention. You don't have to do all of that.
I've
You
never
know,
had to do
exactly. So it just, every time I see some
that.
of these young girls, it breaks my heart, because you don't have to do all that, baby. You're beautiful. And just being able to go talk to those group of kids, that age group, so they can understand that you don't have to do that. You know,
See, so I do need to have some conversations with some of the young people. I don't know, how are they feeling. There are some people. There's a couple people that send me messages, and they're not in great situations. They're
hmm,
locked into situations. Can you imagine? Uh, I can't imagine my situation that I was in 15 years ago today,
right.
because now we're really locked in.
Yeah.
Like, we're really quarantined and we're really trapped into this situation. What
And
would you
we've
say
talked,
to her?
yeah, I talked about safe words, like one that you wouldn't think is a safe word. So with him, there were some people that I was allowed to talk to that he didn't wasn't phased by, and you just
Mm.
create a word like, "Girl, if you're gonna go by the store, bring me some apples." Clearly you don't want the apples, but you need some help. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
creating that type of thing that doesn't sound like it's something, to get some help there, or saying, listen, I need some help, somebody get over here. Anything that you can think of that that person will realize, I got to call the cops. You know, she's not safe.
Wow.
So just thinking of
Wow.
things like that, and in general conversation. Or did you pick up that hair? Did you see that new blah, blah, blah come out? And if you've already established that with that person, they know exactly what you're talking about. You know, you need to get
Yeah, you're
somebody
gonna
over there.
need that. You're gonna definitely need that. For me, I didn't tell anybody. So
Oh,
I
no,
for a
I
long
was just
time I
giving
didn't
an
trust
example.
nobody.
I just
No,
gave
that's a
an,
great
no.
example. That's a great example. And I wish that I would have, I mean, at some point I did, but that could have saved my life 5 times over
Thank
if
you.
I would have thought of something like that. That's a
Yeah.
good thing. That's a great example.
Nobody knew for me
Wow.
either until I started feeling comfortable in my small group, and God is good. It was one lady, she wouldn't let up. She knew, it's like she felt it in her spirit. She would not let up until I started talking about it. And she's like, I knew it. I knew
How,
it.
how does that happen where you look up and everyone, you're not going out anymore and there's no one around?
It just happens.
It just happens.
You start to make excuses. You start to, I mean, just excuses. Oh, I can't go because of this. Oh, I can't go because of that. You know, I missed one of my best friend's wedding, and it was just because he didn't like the fact that my best friend was a guy, but he was getting married. Like, you know, and I made an excuse. I made an excuse about it.
Oh my
Didn't go.
goodness. Mm, wow. Where are we? Okay, making sure we got enough time. Tell me about tell me about any projects that you have coming up. We have the podcast that you're definitely going to give me information on so we can follow you there.
Absolutely. And then I just got my own channel. So I'll have the Mom Boss Show, actual visual, you know, show. It's actually going to be
Ah,
called The Hot Mess Mom, because I want people to see that they're, you know, I'm a normal person and that you are too. You're not going to always have what you need to get things done. So just more realistic type of show where we can talk about life experiences and how we get through them, and how, you know, people, I joke all the time, my kids are in troop, and they'll send a message and say, bring homemade cookies. We stop by the store because I don't have time to make cookies because I'm doing something else, you know? So that's a hot mess mom moment.
hot
But
mess
they
mom.
got the cookies. So I have that show coming out every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm a host on Relationship Entertainment TV, where I talk about African American news or what's hot in the news, but I try to put a positive spin on it, so the dull and blah.
Yeah, I don't like to talk the dull and the blah
Right.
at all.
So I
I
just
tell at all.
just finished writing two movies. One I co-wrote with Dream Empire Films. I write with them, so we're just waiting to see how that goes. And then I
Mm.
have Atlanta Motion Films that's interested in one that I wrote myself. So that, along with New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, and Los Angeles Fashion Week, you know, just doing the best I can.
Doing the best that you can. London Fashion Week. Share the experience.
It's gonna happen on September
Hmm.
18th of next year, and New York Fashion Week is
Yeah.
February 13th this year. So I'm excited. I don't have the dates for Los Angeles yet.
No, that's fine. That's amazing. I don't
I'm
know how
excited.
to. Yeah, you've definitely tapped into. There's this guy in entertainment named Jamie Foxx, right? And I absolutely love his whole entertainment life because it
Hmm.
looked like he has tapped into his gifts,
Hmm.
and he's just a master of them all. That's what it looks like on the
Hmm.
outside, right? And a great comedian, a great actor, a great storyteller, all of these things that he does, I think he's just absolutely amazing. And then I was able to get the experience of seeing him in concert. He did like a
Hmm.
whole hour of singing and a whole hour of comedy.
Oh,
Like,
now that's
well,
cool.
it was like a whole one man show. Yeah, I was like,
Right.
wow. And then this
Right.
year, I was able to go hang out, Oscar weekend in California, and I got to hang out with his stylist.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Mason and a bunch of other people. It was just an amazing experience. And when I look at you and all that you do, you remind me of the person that I admire so much in his life journey, because it just feels like you had tapped into your gifts and you are just like blooming with them, like each and every one of them. That's amazing. I wrote down, I'm like, okay, she's an amazing author. You're a nurse. This is amazing. Wow. Screenwriter, writer, ghostwriter, model, and you're tapping into them all and you're using them and you're creating an amazing. That's amazing. I recently lost a loved one. She was 46 years old. I seem to talk about her often. It was just a couple of weeks, October 11th, she passed away. And when she called, I missed her phone call. She called the morning that she passed away. I missed her phone calls because I do a radio show every Sunday with Dr. Adrian Daisley, and it's titled Lifestyles of Successful Thinkers. And I was like, I'm going to call her right back. Right. And when I called back, I didn't get an answer. And then when I went on Facebook, I seen that her daughter had posted, my mom gone. And I'm like, what? She was 46 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
46 years old. And so we used to talk about her dreams and we used to talk about her goals. This year, we were talking about things that she wanted to do. And and then I found out that she has a heart attack. And I'm thinking to myself, like, gosh, I told her, you know, and all of those stories are now in a place that I can't go and I can't hear them. I won't be able to read them. I won't be able to, you know, understand her experience and her journey. And so I can, when I say I congratulate you and I'm excited for you, because we are here on purpose. We should be.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we need to be giving our gifts away like right now, like not waiting till tomorrow, not waiting until the time is perfect and it's, you know, it's all bed and roses. I don't think it ever looked that way for me anytime I started anything, right? So it's like, man, you're doing that, and I am going to definitely keep you in my prayers for, you know, like, please God, keep all of that. Make sure she continues to shine her light in this world, because we need more beautiful women such as you and I. And there's so many other beautiful women that's on this IG live too. I see them commenting, hi, Camille. Yeah. No, it's true. It's like, and then I get up in the funeral. I'm the first one. I stand up on the mic and I said, let her be an example that we don't have time.
Right.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know how much time that we have. I mean, I would love.
Right.
My son said today, I hope that you can make it be in your hundreds. And I said, yes, son, that would be nice, but maybe that's not that. We don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah, I absolutely understand that, because my brother on March 10th, I talked to him March 9th, got on his case because he said he didn't feel good, told him to go to the doctor. He said, I promise I will. I said, okay, if you don't, I'm coming over there. He's like, nope, you go home, take care of the twins. It was a Tuesday and he knew we had troop. And I said, okay. He died after I hung up the phone. And I found out that morning. You know, so it's like, wait, you know, what do you mean? And the guy, his friend, he literally called somebody over to take him to the doctor because he didn't want to hear my mouth. And by the time his friend got there, he was dead.
He was already
and
gone.
then he couldn't get in my brother's phone to call me, so he posted on Facebook. You know,
wow, yeah,
so
good old Facebook.
You're right. So every time I do something major or I get excited about something, it's so crazy because I literally pick up the phone to call to hear him talk noise about it. You know, especially with the modeling, because I would do anything right now for him to call me a fat ox, like literally. You know,
like just say it one more time. I just
say it one more time.
Say it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I had this app, Marco Polo, and he had got on there and said some crazy stuff to one of the twins because he wanted them to get on Marco Polo so he could talk to them on the phone. And I kept that video. You know, I have the app on my phone just so I can go back and hear him talking noise.
Oh.
You know, it's so I understand that. And he has so much. He was 50. He was the one I would call about everything. Any little thing I would call him. And so I definitely understand that. That's why after that, the last thing he told me, which was 2 days before that, was stop being so shy. You're beautiful. Get out and do it. Live your life. Do what makes you happy. And so I said, okay, all right, brother, that's what I'm going to do.
And that's what you're doing. And we have to keep doing that for them. We have to let our light shine, definitely for them. I'm writing a book, and I talked about it at the funeral too. I'm like the mirror that we don't want to see, because there were just so many things that I know as females, sometimes as women, as mothers. She was a mother of 5, and I see her children post the videos and stuff, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's
oh
right.
Goodness. But we got to continue to move forward. So now we are here in our hour. Oh my goodness. What an amazing hour it has been.
Yes, I've enjoyed every moment. I've been looking forward to this.
I know, I'm so excited. Me too. Let me tell you, I've been booked since the summertime. Literally, when I first started it, it didn't take much time to fill the calendar with conversations. So I'm grateful to God that He gave me that idea.
Yeah, I was
determined. You were. And I was like, I found something I wanted to tell you. I was like, I don't have anything yet. Can you imagine? Like, I think when we started these a couple months ago, I'm like, not till December, I think. And you were like,
because when you said
5 months, okay. You want me to go ahead and put it down?
Yeah, you popped up with November. I was like, okay.
Yeah, and then I had something open and I said, okay, yeah, here we go. You said yes. And I said, let's do this, because I'm telling you, 2021, it looks like she's not going to be available. I don't know. Let me get her now.
Well, I'm going to tell you something real quick. I have Meniere's disease. It's a balance and hearing disorder. I can hear just fine, but sometimes I have severe vertigo. Well, it started a couple of days ago. And so I'm resting and I'm trying to get myself together, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I got to talk to her. Like, this has to get out. Somebody's going to need to hear this.
Somebody's definitely going to need it.
So I took my medicine yesterday. I went to bed early. I rested most of the day so I can make sure that I can sit up long enough to be able to talk to you.
Well, you did it. You did it, and I would have never known if you would have not said anything. There's plenty of times where I don't feel like doing nothing.
Right, but I'm glad I did.
But we
enjoyed this.
Me too. Me too. I like to end with either one word or one sentence of something to give us a message to the world, of something that we can carry on as we can continue on this journey. It's up to you. One word or a sentence.
They'll never believe what you say, but they'll always believe what you do.
Yes. Thank you so much, Queen. Love, light, and energy to you. When you get a moment, make sure that you send me those links so I can add them to YouTube. And shout out to my sponsor, 10K Cards. And I want to thank everybody for spending an hour with us. Isn't that amazing? They spent an hour with us talking about Choose Your Path. Oh, my goodness. With Felicia. Please, I don't want to butcher the last name. Yes. Because I think I still want to say it how I want to say it. And that's no, I don't want to do that. So thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Blessings to you as we continue on this journey. I don't even know what else to say.
Thank you.
Love.
Well,
thank
don't
you.
Be a stranger.
No, of course not. We'll message each other, and I'll see those amazing posts that you put. That was beautiful, right, Melinda?
Thank you.
Melanated Magic. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Melanated Magic. Do I follow
you?
Is that your follower?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm writing this down right now. I'm following you if I don't already follow you. Melanated Magic. That is beautiful. Yeah, that quote was definitely fire. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be reposting it sometime tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my God, and healing to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
I don't want to say bye. Bye.
Bye.